welcome to Sheffield Hopcast, April 2012. No, what?
Actually, April 2012. That's my favourite year of all time. The Olympics were just about to happen.
In April 2012?
And this country...
Let's pretend it's April 2012.
Was pre-Brexit. It was all about gold medals.
Brilliant.
And we've ended up with this shite, haven't we?
I was going to just edit this, but... Right, let's go with it.
And me and Jim were less than a week away from our wedding.
Oh, you see. What a beautiful,
Brilliant.
innocent time that was.
So you were...
They'd not even kissed each other at that point.
I had a bit of hair left then and everything. It was lovely times. Unfortunately,
when's the Premier League then?
In 2012?
Yeah.
No, but we'd only been out of the Premier League for 13 years.
All right.
It wasn't that long ago. It is unfortunately actually April 2019. We are sat in Laura's kitchen because this is our beer cocktail special. We talked about it a tad drunkenly at the end of last month's episode. So this is going to be something quite special. We'll run through kind of how it's going to work in a bit, but let's start the only way that we know how, which is with beer of the month. Adam, what's yours?
Mine is Craft Brews Maiden 2000 and... Should we say 12?
Yeah, go
It
with
would be
that.
11. It would be the last year.
2018. So it's a barrel-aged barley wine blend, 11%. Really super smooth. Not something I'd usually kind of go for, but they did like a special launch of it at the Rutland with some really nice glassware, which I was just saying that I didn't steal.
You thought about it.
Yeah, I thought about it, but I've got lots of friends there, and I thought it's not very nice to do, so I didn't steal it. But yeah, really good beer.
Good call.
Yeah.
Beer Central Sean.
With a little nod and shout out to Jeff from Corrupted Brewery, my second favourite of the year was his rhubarb, quince and crab apple saison. Really excellent, but I'm just going to go plain and simple. Salopian Cashmere IPA in can. It is just perfect for me. Absolute perfection for me.
Here's the weird thing. I bought a can of it on your recommendation, and I thought it was all right. I didn't think it was amazing.
Well, what's weird about that?
Well, I'm interested. What did you love about it?
It's full of flavour, so easy, so consistent, and it for my palate, 5.5%. So the alcohol doesn't blow your lid off. It's just perfection. Okay.
I think I had it on Sunday night after a weekend in Germany. Now, I don't know whether that was a bad time to have it.
It would have been okay to have it after a load of lagers.
But I just found it just a little too, almost a little bit too tasty. Just like too hoppy.
Right.
Just
I think you're coming back on side here, James. You're drifting towards you enjoyed it here with this. Too tasty.
No.
Too hoppy.
Yeah.
Right.
Just like you get it sometimes with like some of the verdant beers and some of the real hoppy things. It was just a little bit like it's just a bit too much for this. I don't know if it's because it was Sunday night.
Yeah.
Maybe I just needed a glass of water and to go to bed.
Is it a bit old school?
Or a chamomile tea.
More bitterness. More bitterness, perhaps.
Yeah, that might
Juicy
just
James
have been it.
Yeah.
Juicy James is not.
Yeah, that's it.
Just a
I
bit
think that will have nailed it.
Too much.
So what, just in future, what night would you try it on in future? If not Sunday night, would you go Thursday maybe?
No, I think it's probably a Friday night beer, to be honest.
Game
I mean, I'll get another can. I'll give it a try on a Friday. I'll report back next month. My beer of the month. I've had loads of decent stuff actually this month, but I'm going to go Southwest, and it's not a particularly new beer actually. I'm going to go for a Daya beer because I've had quite a bit of their stuff in the last month. I've actually got a can of Eye of the Duck in the fridge, which I'm pretty certain I picked as beer of the month 1 month last summer or something off the back of what's the thing in Manchester we went to?
Indie Man. Yeah.
God, what's wrong with me today? So I've got a can of that in the fridge, but I've not drunk it yet, so obviously I can't have it as beer of the month. So I'm going to go with Steady Rolling Man, which is 5 point for similar reasons as you went for your, Sean. 5.2%.
That is juicier than
It is a
mine.
pale ale, but it's
Yeah.
got plenty of taste going on. But it's still kind of quite gentle and quite drinkable.
Yeah.
Actually, I think it's a really good, nice, balanced beer. So that's mine.
It's one of those
Laura.
core release session
Yeah.
pales out of any of those breweries going at the moment.
It's
cracking.
good. It is good.
Just to qualify, that voice you heard after the word Laura was not me, although I do have a cold and I'm slightly husky.
It was Laura's glamorous assistant, who we'll introduce in a moment.
So my beer of the month, we went on an impromptu trip to Buxton a couple of weekends ago. Jim's parents were going for a night of culture at the opera. Had 2 seats in the car, so we joined in and along we went to go and drink beer. We ended up absolutely love the Red Willow bar. I think it's probably my favourite bar in Buxton now, but not my favourite beer in there. That was in the ever trusty Buxton tap. Somewhat predictably, it was a soft serve. And it was the Buxton Omnipollo blueberry frozen yoghurt beer with soft serve. And it's just so delicious. It's like drinking a fruit sorbet.
I've still never had that beer. I actually had a can of it in my hand at the weekend and didn't buy it.
Oh,
Am I an idiot?
yeah.
Yeah. All right. I'll take that. All right. So your glamorous assistant for this evening and helping you in the cocktail making, your assistant mixologist is Jim from Abbeydale Brewery. Jim, have you got a beer of the month?
For me, it's St. Miles of the Deserts. It's their Jackdaw. It was one of those beers that was pouring at Indie Beer Feast, and all the rumbling when we were working behind the bars and stuff, all the rumbling between the brew staff and the who were working, and but quite a few punters as well was like, go and drink this. It's got a mixed fermentation, like a multiple yeast pale ale at 7.3%, but it's just so easily drinkable, and it's hopped with Hallertau Blanc, which is the German hop that's kind of very similar to Nelson Sauvin, and it's just beautifully hoppy. It's wonderfully balanced, and it's just this kind of really nicely yeast led but still hoppy pale ale. And for 7.3, it's just could throw it down your neck. Which
Sounds good.
Did.
All good choices, apart from Sean's. Right, so beer. I'm kidding. Don't look at me like that. Beer cocktail special. So this is how it works. So we've got 4 beer cocktails, but we're gonna have like the beer on its own first. Then we're gonna try the beer cocktail version afterwards. I'm saying we a lot there because this is very much the brainchild of Laura. Kind of tell us about where you've got your inspiration from for your creations this evening.
Well, firstly, I'm slightly winging it on a couple of them. I'll just say that before we start. But it's something that I've always been really interested in. I like food, I like beer, I like whiskey, I like gin, I like all sorts of different things, and I like cocktails. And I just like playing around with flavours, and I think it's something that Jim's brought into my life quite a lot, is that you can identify common flavours that will work well together, and complement each other, and put them together, and thought if it works in a cocktail with other kinds of alcohol, why not beer? And I know it's quite a divisive subject. I think we might have a sceptic.
Beer is beer, love, and you should leave it alone.
And I think, especially with the kind of different ranges of flavours that you get in beer now, a lot of them do lend themselves quite well to cocktails. So at least one of them tonight, I think, sounds more like a cocktail ingredient than a beer almost. But then I've tried to do a little bit of playing around with more sort of straightforward beers, which should mean that if you like the idea, you should be able to find something similar to try them at home yourself.
So to clarify, when we say beer cocktail, this is mixing beer with spirits and other things that you would normally make a cocktail with.
Yes.
But with beer in as well. It's not mixing
Yes.
different beers together to see what kind of happens.
No. It's not
either way,
Ring of Fire final pint kind of beer cocktail.
Either way, I think it's fair to say that Sean's been less than receptive to this idea.
Well, when I heard you mention spirits, I've gone to
Not a seance.
My palms are on the
brought your
table.
Ouija board.
Shall we call? Shall we put a call out?
So you said that beer is beer and should be left alone a minute
Well,
ago.
very obviously it should. Beer should taste of beer. Beer is beer, and it shouldn't be messed about with.
But this
I'm trying to play a character, aren't I? Really? I'm trying to play a character that I'm not really qualified to play, other than by saying love. That's the only way. But
you're going hard Brexit tonight.
Yeah, we should have left last Friday, shouldn't we? The idea at the start, the last half hour has drifted me back on side, because I honestly thought this was going to be a mix of beers. So I thought it was going to be 4 beers poured into a glass and we'll call it a beer cocktail. I honestly did think that. So to now see what we've got in front of us is more exciting than I imagined I might be half an hour ago.
So let's talk about the first invention that we've got tonight. So Laura, tell us about the beer and then tell us about the cocktail version of it.
Okay, so can I do it the other way around and talk about the cocktail first?
Of course you can. Yeah.
So it's a twist on a margarita. And it's a twist on what's called a Grand Margarita, because I couldn't find any triple sec in the supermarket, so we're using Grand Marnier, which apparently makes it a Grand Margarita. And this actually began life as a bit of a play on words, in that the first time I drank one of these, we'd just been to Barcelona, where they call IPAs IPAs. So I thought, I'm going to make a MargarIPA.
MargarIPA.
So it's a margarita with IPA.
Very good.
I don't think the IPA replaces an ingredient; it's just an addition. But by picking something pretty, it is an IPA that I've selected here. It's not, it's not a New England IPA or anything too out there or outrageous. It's a straightforward, tasty IPA, which should, in theory, work well with the orange notes in the Grand Marnier. It just gets a bit of a boost from the tequila and the lime as well. The beer that I've gone for, I also thought would be a useful discussion point, given recent events. So I went for Cannonball from Magic Rock.
So this is probably a beer that we've all had before, probably not as part of a cocktail. Are we going to do? We'll do the beer first, and it is a good. Adam, if you want to be in charge of pouring that. It is a good time to talk about it, because Magic Rock obviously been in the news quite a bit this week, because Sean, you probably know the official phrase in this. How do we describe it? Is it investment or is it
it's
sold?
a full takeover, yeah.
Right.
100% takeover, so it's not investment in a la Beavertown.
Okay, so it's an Australian company?
Lion, yeah.
Okay.
So we've got interests in Australia, but I think a parent owned by an outfit in Japan, or certainly somewhere in the Far East. Lion own Little Critters in Perth. I've heard they also own Castlemaine. I'm not sure whether that's
Oh, right.
And it's
true
in
or
Four
not.
Pure.
I didn't think that was still a
And
thing.
they bought 4 Pure in the last 6 months, didn't they? Probably 4, 5, 6 months ago.
Right.
Again, wholly purchased 4 Pure.
It's worth mentioning, by the way, we're starting nice and gentle on, was it 7.4? 7.2?
Cannonball and
Nice
tequila.
gentle way
6 in the evening.
to start things off. We've not. This is not a good start, because Sean's just stolen Adam's beer. We've got all kinds of beer fighting going on here.
Stole it to me though, so I'm alright.
Yeah, I've got to point out that I didn't steal it on behalf of myself.
I like Sean was sniffer, then he thought it was his beer, and obviously because he's driving, he's poured it straight into Jim's glass.
It's my house, it's my rules.
going so well.
So there's been a little bit of a backlash in the way that we saw with Beavertown. There's been a bit of a backlash about the Magic Rock thing. Jim, Laura, I'm quite interested what you think. Obviously, as people that are very closely involved with a brewery, I guess you kind of see all sides to this, and I'm sure you've both got good friends up at Magic Rock as well.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
I haven't actually spoken to anyone who works there since the news of the takeover. I think it's a difficult one, isn't it? Because much as I absolutely love working for a brewery that is as fiercely independent as Abbeydale is, the people who set it up are still very much there at the forefront and keen to see it thrive for what it is. And a big part of its identity is that individuality and independence. Then at the same time, I can see if somebody came up to you with a cheque for a massive sum of money and offered to take a lot of the kind of pressure of owning a brewery, because it is massive, off your hands, then I can see why that is something that is very tempting.
As a business decision for the owners and the senior management staff, it is a no-brainer. For the lay customer, it's good in the short term. I think because we're going to start seeing Magic Rock pouring in more places, because it's going to be on more distribution channels to more pubs and bars that you wouldn't normally see Magic Rock beer in.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that's pushing out the independent breweries and forcing them to squeeze margins that it isn't particularly possible to squeeze when you're on a smaller scale. But it's a business decision at the end of the day, and there's still plenty of other beers if you don't want to drink multinationally owned beer. It's not like all the rest of it's gone yet.
Yeah.
But
I think it is worrying for Abbeydale as an independent business to see the kind of the way that the market's starting to show signs of consolidating. But then at the same time, it's something that as an independent business you can make a bit of a opportunity out of. We're lucky that we're working for a brewery that's well established and can weather that sort of storm and has enough behind it to still compete a bit with the big boys in a way. Yeah. There are a lot of breweries that aren't in that fortunate a position, and it will harden the market and it will become more difficult for the smaller independent breweries, and obviously remains to be seen what will come of that. But it's something that we've just got to kind of let roll out, and as a paying customer, you make up your own mind what you want to support. So I feel like we should qualify. We've got pre-buyout Cannonball in our
yes, we have.
Grand MargarIPAs.
Otherwise, we have to just pour it down the sink.
I wonder how many people are currently at the minute pouring it down the sink.
People made a big deal of doing that with Beavertown beers, didn't they? And I think that's because it was probably the first time that it happened to as craft a brewery as Beavertown were.
Still got a big silly population of beer drinkers who would just automatically say silly things without considering it.
I've got a question. What's worse, Magic Rock or Beavertown? What's worse?
Well, Beavertown because they're down south.
Oh,
Magic Rock are in Yorkshire, so we're going to look after them.
Beavertown's still a minority state. I get the feeling that the backlash has been greater for Beavertown.
Yeah, it has. Yes.
I don't particularly think there should be a backlash on either, but I can see why people do.
Was Beavertown just a bit too? It was always trying to be a big brand. Magic Rock's kind of grown quite organically, and always stayed. It's felt to be always like quite a modest brewery.
And maybe that's because it's Huddersfield.
It could be,
And there are limitations from being in Huddersfield, whereas that aren't there when you're in London. But also, London's got its own
did Logan Plant ever make some big statements about being independent?
Yeah,
but it was the keynote from the Beaver X the year
that
before.
was true at the time. That was true at the time, and it's not until somebody come and offers you 40 million quid that you change your mind. People do that.
I think that's what rubs people up a bit, doesn't it? Is kind of that like going back in your words.
It feels to me on Beavertown though that, and I'm sure this is not true, but it seems that they've taken 40 million quid and just said we're just going to build Beaver World, and don't seem to have done a great deal else since. It's almost as if we'll take the money to build Beaver World and not use Heineken distribution or anything like that. I believe so, but
it seems that They've got the little brewery in the new Spurs Stadium this week as well, haven't they?
But I think
that was signed up before. And,
it was a long time.
And it's a natural progression for Tottenham Ale, Tottenham, and
I'm sure, is there not a link between Heineken and the Tottenham Stadium as well that was there before, and that helped gather the.
They own all the rest of the lines in the stadium.
Okay, that's interesting.
From Magic Rock point of view, I agree with Jim and Laura. Every business that sets up in the private sector sets up to make money for themselves and and look after their employees and money for their family and everything else. I'm not sure whether there are any UK breweries are not-for-profit and or charity-based. Regather, something like that, maybe is locally. There can't be many.
Jen Merrick, who used to be head brewer for Beavertown, is setting up a educational-based and kind of vocational-based brewery down in London that I believe is not I
think University of Newcastle might have one as well, where everything's reinvested. So I don't blame Magic Rock for 1 millisecond, really.
I think as well it's we're very much inside that beer bubble. So a lot of the people that we speak to about it are seeing it as a kind of doom and gloom thing, whereas I don't know what people who would just go into the supermarket suddenly seeing Beavertown and Magic Rock and Thornbridge and things like that on the shelves. That's
a good thing. It might get them interested in new kinds of beer, and maybe they'll find their way to other breweries.
Well, it's only positive up to a point, I think, and once the selection in a supermarket starts to compete with that of an independent business, you can see where the
which is another thing that's been in the...
I know we're going to talk about supermarkets later, but I've got that. It is a full opportunity for every independent beer shop out there. The one thing that I find slightly galling on these takeovers is that, and I think it certainly happened on Magic Rock, and I'm pretty certain it happened on 4Pure as well, is that the current owners who have got their businesses to a ripe old level within the independent scene both said that they've not said we were offered too much money and we've taken it, thanks very much, we're a private sector business. It's an awkward thing to say, that, isn't it? But they both said that they didn't think they had the skill set to take their business to the next level. And it strikes me that the skill set that they've required to get their business from zero to where they are now is much greater than the next step in just increasing volumes. So I find that slightly disingenuous, whether it is or not. And I'd rather them just say we were offered a serious amount of money. We're a private business.
We can't say no to it.
We can't say no, but what we can do, we can stay involved and really try and make sure that the new owners understand the ethos of the business and allow us to carry that ethos through in an expanded style.
That's something that I think Hawkshead have been quite clear on as well, is that they obviously took on a lot of investment a year or two ago now, and they've been quite open about the fact that in the kind of running of the brewery, they're not left to their own devices, but they are supported, but they are trusted to continue doing what they were doing in their way, because the company that is Halewood Drinks, I think they're called, who are a kind of bigger general drinks brand, like they own a lot of gin companies, there's the importers for Lambrini and all that kind of thing. They've kind of looked at Hawkshead and gone, they know beer, let's let them do beer, we'll just support them in this kind of...
Do Hawkshead get away with that? They get away. I never hear Hawkshead talked about in the same light.
But they were never in the same kind of category, were they? They were never at the same level as like Beavertown and Magic Rock.
They're well on the way.
It's interesting. It's been an interesting week.
I'm going in on this cocktail.
I'm going to say we're 20 minutes in. We've not tried a cocktail yet. Yeah. So I've tried it. Cannonball, and I think we all. I mean, Cannonball is a beer that plenty of people will have had. We all know what it tastes like. So this is what did you call it again? Sorry, the
Grand MargarIPA.
MargarIPA.
I think it's interesting that you couldn't get triple sec
Oh.
for this cocktail, but you could have got the base beer from the supermarket.
Yeah, that's true.
The first time I made this was, what also works really well, was with Punk IPA.
What's interesting is how much drier it is as
really
a cocktail.
dry, isn't it?
And the taste kind of almost cleaner. like when you drink it and there's no kind of aftertaste. It's quite a swift experience.
The idea for them was that you'd still be able to taste the beer in there.
You can.
It's
Yeah,
not
it's
supposed to
You get that
cover it
little
up. It's
bitterness
just
on your
supposed
tongue.
to all kind of
Yeah.
meld together.
There's some sweetness in there as well, though, hasn't it? That's kind of balanced it a bit. It's really interesting.
So it's just we've got smaller ones, but to make one at home, it would be a shot of tequila, 15 mils of Grand Marnier, swirl it with a squeeze of lime juice and some ice, and then top it up with beer, about half a can.
Very refreshing, would go well in sunshine. It's boozy, but I suppose
I think
with
a
all
beer-
those
I
ingredients.
think a beer drinker would quite
Yeah.
like that, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would work
not
actually.
like-
That would work.
Yeah, if you like your hoppy kind
Well,
of beers.
I know where I'm going to drink a cocktail, and I do love cocktails myself. Strawberry daiquiri, clear winner, and I'm going to drink that on a nice, gorgeous beach with a lovely sea breeze, and the sunshine's going to be out, and there's a natural place for it. Where am I going to drink? Either geographically or physically, where am I going to drink a beer cocktail? Am I going to drink it in a pub? Is it a home? Is it a
No.
home thing?
I can see something like maybe like Peddler or something having like a beer
Having water
cocktail
on a
weekend or
little-
something like that.
I think maybe as like kind of these bars, well, as craft beer kind of becomes more widely available, then the bars that never used to sell kind of good beer are selling it. So you've got a mix of people who don't really drink beer and people who drink cocktails. It might be like these
So
kind
could
of
it be
fancier
someone,
bars.
could
maybe.
someone like Botanist drawing a beer drinker
Yeah.
by offering beer
I
cocktails?
Potentially.
I think they might do one
They're
actually.
doing already.
And
There
I
you
think tap rooms as well is another good kind of option, because if you have a brewery that has a tap room and you're wanting to entice people in that aren't necessarily just beer drinkers, this
Yeah.
is kind of like a nice way to
Yeah, it is, yeah.
still put your product in front of them, but
Yeah.
offer something that they like. Like Brew York do it amazingly well. They've got a whole, it's called the Hoptail Lounge in their beer hall. It's absolutely gorgeous, and the people who work there and run it, have put a lot of work into making the recipes absolutely spot on, and putting as much effort into it as you would into into a cocktail bar.
It's a great idea to do it as kind of like a secondary bar in somewhere, isn't it? Because it could also appeal to a different kind of drinker, but actually help, whether it's like a group of friends or a couple or something. It really gives you like an extra option, extra dimension than just a bar with just beer or a bar with just cocktails. Something that does something different. I think it's got to be applauded. And the more like I was saying at work the other day, like there's no musical riffs left now. Every musical riff possible has been done in a song. There just aren't any left. It's going to happen that there are no combinations of beers left. There'll just be nothing that hasn't already been done. So we've got to come up with something else, and that's going to be maybe beer cocktails will be the next big thing.
Or just beer. Just
Sorry,
plain
Sean.
old-
Yeah,
plain old beer.
We'll go full
Pants
I
circle.
mean, I enjoyed that, but this is the acid test.
I'm genuinely enjoying it more
This
than
is
the beer.
This is the acid test, right? So, James, would you rather now be drinking the beer or the cocktail?
The cocktail.
Oh, I'm on the fence. I think I'm on the fence.
Shall I help you? Beer for me.
No, I don't know.
Cocktail.
Cocktail.
I think I'm warming to it more than
So-
instantly.
Say cocktail and then I'm on my
instantly, probably beer, but that's just because I'm used to it. But I think I've been having a bit of it. I think maybe.
Well,
I
I think-
really like tequila. So,
So
Yeah.
hang on.
I like the
What did you
ingredients.
decide on in the
I'm
end?
on the fence.
What's Jim going for?
Cocktail.
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 Yeah.
So it's 3 against 4 at the moment.
Based on the last can of Cannonball I had, which I actually didn't enjoy at all. I'm gonna go cocktail.
4-1.
Adam.
Smashed it, Laura.
He's used a made-up story about not enjoying an old can of Cannonball.
See, I was
you
just
see.
thinking I should have maybe gone with the second cocktail first because it's a little bit lighter, and I was like,
Ah, yeah.
And I've changed my mind now because I've fed you all tequila, and now the other way's up.
Right, okay then. So
Every glass is empty.
Yeah.
beer number
That's
2.
good. Every
What
glass
is
empty.
what is cocktail number 2?
Cocktail number 2 is a little bit of a twist on a sort of long gin Collins. So gin is the base ingredient, but then lengthened with some grapefruit juice, a little bit of sugar syrup, and a tropical beer.
A tropical beer.
Yeah.
Does this one have a name? Because
No.
MargarIPA was quite good.
MargarIPA was quite good, wasn't it? No.
So
That's the extent of my. That can be the challenge for while we're drinking this. Is
to come up with a name for it.
let's name it. Yeah.
Okay. So a tropical beer. What kind of thing are we talking? Proper fruity?
Yes. Although you can. I've also made this drink with an IPA. Again, I used a fairly straightforward one. I've used Northern Monk New World IPA in this second cocktail as well, which worked well. I haven't made it with a fruit beer before. I just thought it would work well, so I guess we'll see.
What have
Proof
we
will
got?
be in the
What have we
drink.
got?
So the beer, I've kept it close to home. I've brought Abbeydale's Unbeliever, the Guava Goes edition.
Not actually tried this beer yet, so I'm quite excited about this. This should be good.
I had it this weekend in Manchester, actually.
Oh yeah, what did you
Yeah.
think to it? Did you like
Yeah,
it?
it's good, yeah.
Okay.
Fort Street.
Oh yeah.
We shall mix up cocktail number 2, and we'll be back with you in just a second. By the power of podcasting, it's only been a second while you've been listening, but in that time we've got our second beer cocktail and second beer ready. We've also had some beer snacks which need mentioning, because Sean, I've never actually
One of
seen.
them's best dip I've ever had. Yeah.
I've never seen you so enthusiastic about anything.
No.
So, tell us about the stacks first.
Dips should taste the dips, and that does.
So we've got 2 dips, both of which are from Melissa Cole's book, The Beer Kitchen. One of them is a hummus made with Hellas, and the other one is a black bean dip made with an APA, but we use Heathen because we have it on plentiful supply.
Mm-hmm. And sure, I mean, you have been proper wax lyric in the
Yeah, and I honestly didn't realise they'd got beer in them when I've just been trying those, so I'm even more impressed.
Well, there you go.
Stay over there.
Yeah.
literally beer snacks.
Yeah, gorgeous.
Brilliant.
Get you drunk on hummus.
Yeah.
The tequila didn't do it, officer.
I now need to stop eating that. So is there raw heathen in there?
Raw Heathen.
Is there?
Raw
right.
heathen.
Right.
It's not. There's about 6 pints in that.
Is
200
there?
litre
Oh
tub.
no! Have you got a spare
I
bed?
said, have you made bed up? Right.
Right, so beer number 2 then is the Unbeliever Guava Goza edition. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. And the cocktail version of it is that with some gin,
Gin,
some grapefruit,
pink grapefruit juice, and a little splash of grapefruit bitters as well.
and a little splash of grapefruit bitters. Cannonball was a beer that we've all had. This is definitely one that I haven't had. Have you had it before, Adam?
Yeah, I think I did it the weekend at Port Street. I'm pretty sure it was this one. Well, it was finishing the afternoon of a session, so it was a nice cleanser after an afternoon on the strong
lash.
beers. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
What I like about it is the fact that it's just got that one very clear taste to it.
Mm.
I think a lot of sours now are kind of always a combination of 2 or 3 things, or sometimes actually they're trying to be kind of a real kind of sour beer rather than just a sour. This does the trick really, really well. Very
It's
good.
got a lot of guava in it because it turns out it's cheaper to buy a 210 kilogram catering drum of guava puree than it is to buy 50 kilos bag in box. So
Right.
a lot has gone in.
It shines through. So the beer's very good. And I'm going to try the cocktail version of it, which, by the way,
Yep.
looks
Yeah,
amazing.
It
well,
looks really pretty.
You didn't
doesn't it?
mention the actual slice.
Oh,
we
that
got in it.
smells so good.
It really does.
Oh, that.
Ooh, that's nice. That
It tastes a bit like a holiday,
Ooh.
doesn't it?
it's not. It doesn't taste like it smells necessarily. I think.
No, it smells quite zippy, but there's a softness to it when you drink
Yeah.
it, like a calming softness.
The grapefruit really comes through, doesn't it?
Mm.
But
A
in
bit
a
wedgy, isn't it?
really pleasant way.
That's very nice. Mark.
And this is the first time that you've tried doing this with a
With
full-on
a sour beer, yeah. Like I said, it does work well with an IPA as
That's
well.
lovely.
I think that's one of the things I really like about making these. You can just switch it up and try different things, and like I think there's a lot of people who say, "Oh, it's a waste of a beer," but actually, I don't think it is a waste of a beer. You know, you could easily, if you were drinking a can on your own, firstly you could drink some of the beer by itself and make a cocktail with it.
Yep.
That wouldn't be a problem. But also, I don't think you're taking anything away from the beer by doing this to it. You're just drinking it in a different way.
And it's fun,
great
isn't it?
idea.
It's fun and interesting.
Yeah.
I know we're pretending to be a beer is beer earlier, but it's just... It's a
You've
good
gone
laugh.
full circle here.
It's a good laugh, isn't it? Yeah, it's a
You
good laugh.
proper flipped 180.
We can all laugh at it.
I think it works brilliantly. It's distinctly different to the beer as well.
Yes, it is. Yeah, the first
the-
one I
the-
thought
the
connected
two-
more with the
yeah.
beer. This one gives you the beer on the aroma, but then more of the grapefruit and that.
I think
in the
somehow
drink.
there's more salt in the cocktail. There's
Yeah.
more kind of the umami thing
Yeah.
that you get from the salt addition. It just kind of adds to the, I hate the word, adds to the mouthfeel, but it kind of helps bring it all together.
I prefer that from so far.
Yeah, that's.
Is that your cocktail of the night?
Well, that's I realised I was doing this, so I'm stop. But so far, I prefer this one.
We've got to do the Sean show of hands on this, then, haven't we?
Yeah.
Which is,
Yeah.
what do you prefer, the beer or the cocktail, Sean?
Oh.
I still prefer the beer.
Cheers, Sean.
Still
Yeah.
prefer the beer.
And I'm sat on the Abbeydale side of
Hang
the
on.
table.
Jim, did you brew the beer? 'Cause this might sway. We are sat in your house.
So you brewed the beer
And Laura made the cocktail.
and a
So
little-
no.
So bugging a little bit of pink grapefruit in your beer makes it better. What a shambles.
But it's putting gin in it makes it better, Sean. It's all about the gin.
So you've gone for the cocktail,
I think
Laura?
so.
I don't really know because
Oh, sorry. Is this Adam or have we gone to the wrong person?
I drink them both for different occasions. Like I really like this beer because I think it's just you could a sunny day, crack one of them. Don't have to think about it
Yeah.
too much.
Released
It's
at
a
the
really
perfect
easy
time of
drinker.
year, February.
Whereas the cocktail is a bit more complex, but equally like I'd really enjoy sitting down with one of them in an evening.
Your evening is bang
Yeah.
on, Laura, on that. That's an
Yeah.
evening. The nice swimming pool nearby, lighting's
Yeah.
beautiful. You can hear
It's
crickets in the
sunset.
I
background.
love
Yeah.
swimming pools.
Yeah, yeah. And
Just
that's a
like
lovely
outside, we
finish.
could do that now, Sean.
That's a
Sit
lot.
by our swimming
I
pool.
did see the Caribbean table and chairs out there.
It's in our tiki hut.
So what's winning then so far? I'm lost actually.
So
What did you go for, Jim? Cocktail.
Yeah, I think so.
So beer
Me
1-1. Laura, cocktail.
I think I'm gonna go beer.
Yeah, 2-1.
But I do really
Cocktail.
like cocktail.
2-2. Jimbo.
Casting vote.
Yeah. Like the Speaker of the House last night had to.
I like them both, but I've got to be honest. Hands down, it is the beer.
3-2. Yeah, get it.
It's an excellent beer.
It's beer.
It's an
You
excellent
shouldn't mess
beer.
with it.
I put loads of fruit
I
in
do
it.
really like the cocktail as
Yeah,
well.
I'm saying a guava goes is a beer.
Barely.
I'm quite fussy with my cocktail styles. So like quite like a sort of a bitter, like an old fashioned or like a bitter or something like that. But so that kind of suits me. It's quite nice. Nice bite to it.
Yeah.
But the
Very
beer's
good.
good as well.
So, question: did everyone enjoy Sheffield Beer Week? We were obviously kind of getting excited about it last time when we recorded in the front of your shop, Sean. You were kind of out and about doing a couple of things for it. Did you?
We did
have a
we did the one event. Yeah, we're in the middle of a house move, and so that's complicated the last few weeks. But we did the Wednesday night event at Shakespeare's, Battle of the Beers, and a simple assessment of the night is that it was 4 rounds. We went 3-0 up. I celebrated early. We won 3-1, and I got terribly pissed.
I was going to say, let's talk about Thursday morning
Got terribly pissed.
rather than Wednesday
Yeah,
night.
Thursday morning was a can of Pepsi. I wanted Coke, but they didn't have it, and a well-done bacon sandwich. I was there on time, and I worked all day. Adam at the Shaky got in at 5 a.m, and some other customers, because I don't remember much of me after a night on beer, and so I thought I was the only one really that had struggled a little bit late on. But then another customer came in, they'd been out while 4. Another customer came in and had to have the day off work.
Right, wow.
Planned, so I felt much better. But we won 3-1, so we retained our trophy. And
Congrats.
Thrashed them.
You temporarily lost your sultry tones, didn't you? You were
Thrashed
quite
them.
gruff.
I lost it. Well, were you there?
No, I saw you next morning.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah. I'm always gruff in the morning.
I was walked past his shop in the morning with
on the night, yeah. I wasn't gruff. I couldn't really speak properly on the night, which is terrible.
At least you won.
Congrats.
Congrats.
We won. Yeah.
Jim, Laura, obviously you were at quite a bit of different stuff. Indie Beer Feast, which was really good. Adam and I kind of talked about that on the half pint, but that was a cracking event. What else was kind of the highlights for you guys?
We had a lot of food on the Sunday, which was all great.
Yeah.
We went for the Sunday curry-inspired roast at the Rutland Arms, which had sort of selected beers to pair with your Sunday dinner. That was great. And then in the evening, we went to Burning Sky food and beer pairing up at the Stag, which is the Thornbridge pub. Excellent chefs up there. Really, really good food and fantastic Burning Sky beers to go with them as well. So I think that was probably my highlight.
Yeah.
Also, with in terms of food and drinking, on the Wednesday we had Melissa Cole up at the Devonshire Cat doing a beer and food pairing with food again from the book, which we didn't intend to plan the dips from the book and also to mention the event, but it is
a beautiful plan.
But it's bookended quite nicely. So that event was good, but ended up going to the pub after then to the railway accidentally, and we were both rough in the morning, but at work on time.
So like 3 roughnesses. Any other roughness on the far side of the table?
Well, we've talked about it, but absolute loss my memory between leaving Indie Beer Feast and getting home.
I know Chef B.
We swapped roles. I'm normally the don't remember anything after a certain time, slathering on people. That's my role.
I remember everything there, and I remember everything when I got home. I have no recollection of a taxi journey at all.
So the Chef B promotes responsible drinking, and we've all been very responsible with the sounds of it.
I did have 2 Aperol spritz immediately after leaving the festival. Went downstairs to what's it called, Picture House. Smashed a glass. Disappeared.
Did you?
Yeah. Bit of a hit and run because the taxi were there and didn't quite put the glass down properly, and it went.
Were you trying to pinch it at the time?
No.
There's a really funny video that Adam showed me of himself at his most drunk point, and you're watching this video, and you could put it on YouTube just with the title of "The Drunkest Man in the World Ever,"
right.
and it would fit everything about that. The eyes are really droopy. It's very slurry. The arms are going all over the place. It's very.
I only realised I sent it to like a group of people on like WhatsApp, and they were like, "That video was funny." I'm like, "What video?"
Sounds like we all had a very good time.
Sheffield Beer Weeked hard.
I think I was actually trying to convince a group of people that we should try and troll camera to say that Baby Sham should be accepted as a Perry. Because we're looking at Baby Sham.
It is a Perry, yeah.
The camera quite don't.
It's not what condition.
Don't recognise it, but at the time I thought it'd be quite.
Who
funny.
owns Baby Sham? Are they an
Baby Sham, isn't it?
Are they an independent business? I'm sure they must have been bought by someone in the 70s, but will they have broken free and somebody rebought the brand? Who owns Baby Sham? They could be a small independent outfit, and
We got any Baby Sham cocktails lined up tonight?
We haven't, but we might have the last one in a Baby Sham glass.
No, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah, what an answer that is.
On that subject, what is cocktail number 3?
It's a Bloody Mary.
All right, okay.
With stout in it.
So it's a stout Bloody Mary.
Yeah.
Stouty Mary.
Yeah. Which
I know.
Well, that's not bad.
Well, no.
The concept
You were
of this
drifted off though,
actually got me through a lot of Sheffield Beer Week because I had a very busy week. I was also in Liverpool for SEBA Beer Expo, some of it. I had a cold that I got rid of and that I've got back again. And I saw Heather of the Rutland Arms on the Monday night and said, such a busy week, but I'm very much looking forward to my Sunday dinner at the Rutland. And she said, I'll have a Bloody Mary with stout on it on the bar for you when you get there, Laura.
Wow.
So this one's for Heather.
What is the stout?
It is the Colonel.
Imperial Brown Stout.
Which is a very well thought of stout, isn't it?
We've just googled the one's Lion, and it seems that 9 months ago, Lion bought them 100%, and
I was actually
the
going to joke
independent-
saying, is it the same company?
the
that's bought
independent
Magic
Perry
Rock?
drinkers. There's a lot of forum arguments about
The
Baby Sham selling out.
UK craft baby sham.
Yeah. The shammers, as they're known online.
Wow.
You get trolled by a shammer, you're in trouble.
We didn't come up with a name, by the way, for cocktail number 2.
Evening Sunset.
Evening Sunset. Is that what we're going for? That actually sounds like a real
Well, they were the
Cocktail.
words that came out of Laura's mouth, so it was perfect.
Evening Sunset. Right, that's what we're going with. Okay, we will crack on. Well, I say we will watch Laura crack on with cocktail number 3, and we'll be back in just a second. Magic of podcasting time. We are back, and right, cocktail number 3. I am so nervous about this. So this is a, we're calling it a Stouty Mary. It's a Bloody
You're
Mary.
calling it a Stouty Mary.
Do you not think that's a good name? Everyone's looking at me like I'm an idiot. It's a Bloody Mary with the Colonel Imperial Brown Stout, which is 9.1%. I've never had a Bloody Mary before, ever in my life. I've always avoided it because it's like everything that I
You
dislike.
still haven't.
Haven't had a Bloody Mary, but you will have had a Stouty Mary.
Stouty Mary.
A Stouty Mary sounds like someone who hangs out, like who's always in the post office.
sounds-
Someone that lives in Blackpool, isn't it? Bloody Stouty
It
Mary
sounds
again.
like a song by Tina Turner.
It looks like
Oh, which way are we going here?
Beer
Come on,
first.
Jen. Jumping on.
Sorry.
You've got to critique the beer is something
Alright,
first.
The beer is powerful.
Yeah.
The beer is powerful.
The beer is dark.
I
beer
think
is-
this
the
should
beer is
work
good.
well
Mm.
in a Bloody Mary.
What does a... Alright, okay, let me be fair. So why would anyone normally drink a Bloody Mary? Because I just don't know.
Hangover.
How does it cure a hangover?
It just does.
Because it's all the vitamins of tomatoes with a bit of alcohol and then some nice layers of acids.
And
It's
So-
just
spice.
everything.
it's normally really
actually
pretty
talk.
colour.
Talk me through... This is not a pretty colour. So talk me through this. So it is vodka, tomato juice,
Henderson's relish.
Henderson's
obvious.
relish,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Tabasco sauce,
Yeah.
and
There's a little-
9.1%
Yeah.
brown stout.
Yeah, normally I'm not going to do it because of the stout, but in a non-beery Bloody Mary, I would also add gherkin juice.
Celery.
And a
there's
stick
the
of celery.
which I felt was
Does the celery? Do you
unnecessary.
taste the celery in it? Because I know they put a celery stick
It's
in
no
it. Is
good
that,
looking at
is
me,
it just
James.
for? Is that just for sugar?
I don't know
why
Sorry,
you're
Sean.
looking at me.
I always
You seem
eat
to know
the
about
celery because if I'm feeling hungover, a nice little crunchy stick of celery sometimes.
It's for texture, the celery,
It's quite common.
and to stir it.
It's quite common for people in
It
Sheffield
smells like-
to put this in there.
I think it's essential for people.
Which
from
is-
Sheffield
which is,
to put
Henderson's
Henderson's
relish.
in.
I
But it's
don't.
not a
I don't
traditional-
like Henderson's relish.
Oh,
Oh.
sure.
You're from Barnsley.
And part
You
of the
know
reason
nothing.
why you are getting out of my house right now is
Yeah.
because
Why would you spoil a pie and peas with that?
Spoil.
Yeah.
you're spoiling it by not having it on. It's a disservice to
You
yourself.
could put some Henderson's relish on your ferret and everything. Lovely.
No, I'd rather just have a bit of dripping.
Oh yeah, with a bit
So
of Henderson's
it-
on top.
We also-
No.
Full on. It just smells like cold soup.
Kind
Yeah,
of
Yeah,
what it
it's
is.
that's
just
fair.
yeah.
That's a
Gazpacho.
fair description.
Oh, I'm so
Gazpacho.
nervous about this.
So the reason we
like
kind of
it.
put stout on partially is as well because of the April's Fool's Day tweet from Magic Rock
No.
Northern Monk. That's the
There
brewery
we go.
from Northern Monk
Oh,
who had
Hendo, yeah,
their
sorry.
Hendo's
Oh yeah.
Hendo's
Yeah.
Bloody Mary Porter artwork, which was a very elaborate
Yeah, it's,
knock up.
yeah. I think I tweeted that, so if anybody follows
Yeah.
on Twitter, you know that.
I was outraged actually because I would like to think that if Henderson's Relish were going to do a beer, they wouldn't go to Leeds for it.
Well, Leeds have planned it now.
But also, do you think it looked like a can of
Yorkshire's
Stones?
own.
Yeah,
Go on,
Has
say
anyone
it.
tried this?
Yes,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
great.
everybody's tried it.
You haven't tried it.
I have.
You haven't. You're lying.
Yes.
yes.
You can get
Has it?
lost.
It's really nice.
I'm so right. Okay, here you go.
Put it down, James.
I can't believe he's drinking it.
None of us have had it. We hadn't had it. It's awful, isn't it?
That's lovely.
The worst cocktail you've ever had.
I thought you were going to throw up then.
So this is also made with a little touch of some.
Something tastes a bit like garlicky.
So it's a fermented peach chili sauce, which also
Ah.
has some garlic in it. So
Which I said to
Why
Jim.
did you wait until after I'd drunk it before you started telling me what the extra ingredients are?
I said to Jim,
Also got some
don't
cat
put
poo in
that
it.
I don't put the peach garlic thing in. I'm not sure it'll go. And Jim's like,
I
oh,
can
it's
smell
already in.
I like this.
I also
so
like
much.
this. This is, despite everything we've said, it is a pretty accurate
The thing
Bloody
is,
Mary.
if you,
Yeah.
the first time you have a normal Bloody Mary, though, it's texturally it's sensorily quite unusual, isn't it? Because it feels like you're drinking
Yeah,
food.
Cold soup.
Yeah.
Cold
Totally
soup.
out of my comfort
It's
zone.
essentially gazpacho,
When-
but boozy and
As I sniff it, I don't know if I want to drink it or be sick in it. I don't know.
I think that's the point. If you can get through,
How does this help you with a hangover?
if you can get through it, you've survived everything. If you can
Yeah.
process a Bloody Mary on a good
A can
hangover.
of Coke is.
I think.
is
I
a
mean,
lot
I'm
tastier.
going to say I'm vegetarian. Even I prefer your idea of a bacon sandwich and a can of Coke. Wow.
Oh, we were doing these in Poland when we went. And it was, when you get breakfast buffet, you thought, yes, it's got a like a drink station. It had all this. Oh, James is really
He's
suffering.
keeping it down.
I'll just decide which way I'm going to vote on this one. All right. Does anyone have a better name than Stouty Mary? See, does that appear to have gone down that well?
Midnight
No.
sunset. To play on a theme.
No, time out. We're sticking with
Stouty
Stouty
Mary.
Mary. That's what
Yeah.
I'm staying with then.
Stouty Mary face.
Stouty Mary. Right then, beer or cocktail, Adam?
Cocktail.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Laura, beer or cocktail?
I am actually going to go cocktail. I really like Bloody Marys, but I don't think you should have put the garlic in.
Always put garlic in.
Sean?
It's a landslide for beer.
Uh,
That was the easiest of the night.
Jim?
Cocktail, but maybe if I'd had a bigger, maybe if I settled in with that
Yeah,
beer,
so-
then could be won over.
It's a
But,
great beer.
but no cocktail.
Right, okay. Sean, I'm
We've
with you.
lost
I'm with
already.
you 100%.
We've lost that.
I knew
But yeah,
this one was going to be
3-2 for
divisive.
cocktail.
A Bloody Mary isn't the most popular of cocktails.
Am I sweating? I feel
is
like
it?
I'm sweating.
You are a little bit,
It's
yeah.
done weird things to me. I really don't know how I feel about it.
I think it's weird drinking them in the afternoon or evening. That's the only.
It's weird drinking them in the afternoon or evening.
Whatever time we're at.
We're
Literally
on
just leaves you with
25
the
to
morning.
8.
I know I sometimes have them when it's on a plane. For some reason,
Yeah.
they're just one of them
But
weird options they have.
but planes don't have a time.
But they also, the amount that
They
you get,
transcend time.
the ratios are awful. Like, you get the double shot of vodka and the little can of tomato. If you just pour it straight in, it's awful.
Everything about that is just wrong.
So-
Where, if you need to be sick on a plane, where are you going to do it? There's no sick bag.
Bags. Yeah,
You don't get sick bags anymore. You've not had them for years.
Sort
You're
of
flying
like-
on Ryanair too much, buddy.
I am.
On the service air.
No, I am. It's true.
I feel
Posh
a bit
airlines, you
like,
still get 'em.
A Bloody Mary is like the drink's equivalent of an olive. Like when you first have one, you're like, I hate it. It's weird. I don't like it.
Right.
And I think you
olives
have
in
to. No.
Does taste
That's
like
really
the olive.
interesting.
You have to.
Because I've heard for like 36 years I've disliked olives, and in the last year, 6 months to a year, I've discovered olives and love them, and now I can't get enough olives.
There you go. By the time you're 72.
Go and see
How
How long is it
Hussein
going to take?
Greenleaves in the Moor Market. He does beautiful stuffed olives.
Does it?
Magnificent.
Don't do Bloody Marys.
And you get lots of freebies off him while you're buying.
All right. Okay.
Mhm.
Deal.
I'll introduce you.
Done. So that was
But can we call it bloody... What we're calling it?
Stouty Mary.
All right,
Not
yeah.
calling
Bloody,
it
bloody
hell.
awful Mary, how we're going to call it.
Not bloody
I,
hell.
I'll vote for
Stouty
that.
Mary's fine, yeah.
Stouty Mary we're going with.
Yeah.
We've got one more then, which is
We've got a choice on the last one.
we've got a choice.
Yeah.
Right.
So basically, it's going to involve vodka and Kahlua. We can either go with one of the cocktails that really got me thinking, these are amazing, this is something I want to play around with myself, which was Brew York do a Tonkoko White Russian. So I've got some Tonkoko Milk Stout from Brew York to attempt to recreate that, but I fear I can't quite do it justice. Or we can go a little bit shorter and we can have an espresso martini with some fine ales and Demolin Mills and Hills. And if you want,
they sound good.
we can go espresso martini with Mills and Hills, drink a bit, and then be
Top it up
really
with
off the
Tonkoko.
cuff and put some whole milk in it and turn it into a sort of a White Russian halfway through.
I would, of those options, I would vote for the Tonkoko White Russian.
I think me too, actually.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
like Tonkoko. I'm sure, and as it's a nod to Brew York.
It's where the idea comes from.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
it's the
Even though
it's
you
the
tried to
best
sell us
one.
the other one.
No,
Laura.
it's just
I'm
because
sure you've talked about it
Like,
a few times
I
before.
honestly
haven't
feel
you?
like
Got it.
it's one of my top 5 moments in life when I went to Brew York's
Is
birthday
it?
party, which was pretty much exactly a year ago actually. Their birthday weekend is this weekend, and I had a Tonkoko White Russian and I was very joyous.
We're going to go with Tonkoko
Pour them down
White
the
Russian
sink and let's get these
for
next ones
for
rolling.
beer number 4. We'll be back with that in just a sec. Had a complete revelation during that short break there that I didn't realise that a White Russian, I mean, I suppose white should give me some clue, but it's made with milk, which I'm not a fan of. So mine is kind of not quite white, it's kind of a off-brown Russian
curdled.
that I've got, because that's for a minimal amount of milk. The rest of you do have a proper Tonkoko White Russian, which looks great,
It
must
does
say.
look great. Yeah, we've already said that it looks just like an Irish cream. Can we say Baileys? We can't we?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Just like it.
They want to send us a bottle for the.
Yeah.
What's in it again? Remind us.
So it's vodka,
Mhm.
Russian standard, if anyone is interested. Kahlua, a dash of cocoa bitters, milk, and Brew York's Tonkoko Stout.
Is Kahlua coconut?
No, it's a
based?
coffee liqueur.
Coffee, right.
I did say as well before we drink these that the Brew York version is made with Imperial Tonkoko. I didn't have any of that. I just had normal Tonkoko. So we've got a slightly less robust beer in here, but hopefully it will be just as tasty.
I assume the difference between them is just the percentage, is it?
It's a bit more fuller flavoured as well.
Right,
The Imperial one, it's a bit bolder.
So it is basically a stout made with tonka bean?
Yeah.
Okay. We've talked about tonka bean a couple of times, haven't we? We had a bit of a moment pouring over tonka bean not long back, I think, on the Valentine's edition. The beer's excellent. Beer's really good.
It's only 4.3%, I think. As
Yeah.
well.
All right, wow, I didn't expect it to be that. It's almost rare nowadays that you get like craft stouts that are less than 6-7%, isn't it? It's a real rarity.
It's one of my absolute favourite beers. This.
Mm. I can see why.
Yeah.
It's very Moorish.
Fantastic. Yeah. I think I actually also prefer the general Tonkoko version to some of the stronger ones because I enjoy the stronger ones, but they're not quite as drinky a beer, if you know what I
Yeah,
mean. You
yeah.
wouldn't just sit and quaff your way through one. Whereas this, I think it still tastes like Tonka, but it's really, really drinkable.
So we're going Tonkoko White Russian as the name. No
Yeah.
advance on that. We're happy with that.
Yeah. Apologies to Brew York for stealing your recipe, but full credit given.
Yeah, absolutely. Sean's about to try his.
Yeah, I've tried the. I'm a big fan of the Tonkoko in its own right, and yeah, this
Yours looks like a Bailey's, doesn't
I'm,
it?
yeah, I'm hoping it tastes like that. I know it won't. But
Ooh. That doesn't taste anything like I thought it was going to taste.
Oh, bloody hell, that's good.
that does taste nice. Yeah,
I'll tell you what that tastes like. It tastes like the milk out your bottom of your Cocoa Pops. It's very
It does taste like that.
It's like slightly sweet, slightly brown tinge
Yeah,
to it.
that's Moorish. Yeah,
It doesn't really taste
that's
like
Moorish. I want to keep drinking that.
Mm.
Almost feels like this is one of the least boozy of the ones that we've
Yeah,
had.
Yeah.
Actually, it's the taste rather than the alcohol that, especially compared to what we just had in the with
But
the
yours hasn't
Stouty Mary.
Yours hasn't really even got any milk in it to disguise it. So yours is literally booze with a splash, teeny tiny splash
That-
of milk.
that
So
is
for that,
that is
that's
delicious.
amazing.
Clear cocktail winner for the night.
Really?
Yeah,
So you're
better
going,
than the beer.
You're going cocktail better
My
than the
first
beer.
cocktail.
Yeah.
What are you going, Adam?
Favourite, the cocktail.
The cocktail.
I like the beer, but I actually prefer the slightly stronger one, the Imperial one. Just think it has a bit more.
I'm
Tonka
just
bean into it.
purely because I'm not a fan of milk. I'm going to vote for the beer. Laura?
I like both, but because it's one of the things that made me think beer cocktails could really work as a concept, I'm going to go for cocktail.
Am I right in thinking that's 3 of the cocktails that have won? Or is that all the cocktails that have won against the beers?
That really was delicious.
I think against all odds it might be all
I'm
of the
amazed.
cocktails. I was really not expecting it because I know you were like, I think I've warmed you up to the idea of beer cocktails a little bit over the months. But when I first mentioned it, there was a lot
we're
of
three hardened
and I can
drinkers,
completely
aren't
see
we?
why, because it is a bit of a strange concept. But
I love it though. I think it's brilliant.
like
It's
I
a
said,
great
it's kind of thinking about it in a way that's adding to your beer and making a different use out of your beer, rather than seeing it as something that's taking anything away from the beer.
Rather than a beer of the night, we've got like drink of the night. So we've got 8 things to pick from. So we're having to think about that. Before we do that, then I think it's only right that we talk about the other big thing that's been going on in the beer world in the last... well, it kind of came to light, actually, didn't it? About a week ago is when people started talking about it, which is the new range of beers that have gone into Tesco. Sean, it only kind of feels right to ask you about this first, as someone that owns a beer shop. What I saw on a Facebook forum the other day, someone saying RIP independent beer shops after going to Tesco and doing a bit of a shop. What's your What's your take on this?
See everything as an opportunity. Tesco's twice a year do a bit of a craft beer launch. They can't compete with independents. Tesco cannot compete on anything to do with range, anything to do with customer service, and the only thing they can compete on is price. And as we all know, we're occasionally motivated by price, but plenty of occasions we're totally the opposite. So I used to shop in supermarkets. I used to buy 3 for a £5, Harvey's Pale and Golden Pippin from Copper Dragon, and I think that lots of people start at that point and progress. I ended up going from Tesco 3 for a £5 to driving an hour through to House of Trembling Madness in York to get my Colonel Pales, and I think a lot of people go on that path. So I'd rather see it as an opportunity. Tesco have lots of to call it craft is perhaps wrong, but to get the emphasis across, I'll call it craft. They have plenty of non-craft beer drinkers who go in there and buy cases of Budweiser and cases of Stella and so on. And if Punk and or Cannonball and or any of the other beers that they're stocking can drag some of those drinkers just across, create an interest, create a pricing point that they can access. If you start supping Cannonball regularly and enjoying it, then the inevitable end game is to go to independent beer shops and grab the rest of the beers that are out there. So see it very much as an opportunity, see it as a starting point for lots of drinkers. Don't mind all that Tesco's have got the range in, but they do struggle to compete. I know they've had difficulties in maintaining stocks over the last week, but they can't compete on range. I'd rather be confident and bullish than roll over and give it the old RIP. So I'd rather grab it as an opportunity, and that's exactly what we'll do. And I think any beer shop that's got that mentality will succeed. I'm happy to take them on and fight them a little bit. Yeah.
Go for it. Good stuff. Brilliant. Right. Okay. So, what are the odds of us actually getting a winner from? We've got 8. There's 4 of us. We've got 8 drinks to pick from.
Easy winner for me.
Well, all right. I'll start this off then, because I'm going to go with the. I'm going to go with a beer, and I'm going to go with the Unbeliever Guava, which I thought was beautiful. Laura, this is hard for you because
it is hard for me.
4 of your kind of creations, but
Yeah.
4 great beers as well.
I think I'm going to go for the first cocktail, the Cannonball Grand Margarita. And I'm picking that because I think it was the cocktail that best showcased the beer, whilst being more than just the beer, if that makes sense. And it was boozy, and I like boozy. So I'm going to pick that one.
I think you're right that beer did reveal itself more than in any of the other cocktails.
Okay, sure.
The last one. So I didn't get tons of the Tonkoko in it, but I'm on very small portions anyway. Creamy, smooth, moreish, easy to drink. Little bit of sparkle again, a little bit of fizz from the beer that's gone in there. Carbonation. I could drink that regularly and more of it. Brilliant. Cheers, Laura.
So we've got
What was it called
three,
again, that last one?
three votes. So that was
Tonkoko White Russian.
Tonkoko
Excellent.
White
Must
Russian.
get yourself to Brew York and have a
Yeah, you
proper
see,
one.
we've
Made
been
by the
twice, but
masters.
I just suck beer well over there.
So three
So I
votes
picked a cocktail
for
as my winner.
vastly different drinks.
I'm picking one of those three,
Oh right.
so there's gonna be a winner. I'm picking this Tonkoko White Russian.
Wow.
I'd really like to try it with one of the stronger versions though, just to get a bit more of that
Bit
flavour.
more beer
for it.
flavour
But
through
I
it.
think it's so well
Reveals,
balanced.
yeah.
Yeah, especially after we've had an evening of quite very different, varied drinks. And I'm thinking that finishing on something like that might do my stomach in, but that's really soothed it and sort of smoothed out all those flavours.
Wow.
Where
So
is your
cocktail-
Where is your Bloody Mary, Adam?
I drunk it.
Where did that go? You did not.
I drank half for it.
Can return to it if you want.
I'm leaving for gin. There was
Jim has left us, so that is the 4 votes cast.
I think he would have gone for that.
That's the
I think
winner.
I think he'd have gone for the
Bloody Mary.
Bloody
Tonkoko
Mary.
White
Bloody Mary.
Russian. Yeah.
Well, thanks
only
everyone
one vote for a
for-
beer then.
Yeah.
Out of all those.
Thanks for letting me run riot with my harebrained scheme.
No, it's
that you
good.
all
I think
laughed
that's
at a
good.
bit
That's
a
good
year
work. I
ago.
kind of feel like
Enjoyed
what
it.
we should do is do some little sort of very brief recipes that we'll stick on with the show notes on this one. So
Yeah.
if anyone wants to know kind of what you use to make them and have their own go at it, then
With
you can
Melissa's
find them
permission,
on,
the dip recipes could also be.
And we'd also like to
could
hear
also
about-
be.
Oh, hang
added.
on, this is legal minefield. This, what are you doing?
Well, Jim and Laura know us, so that's okay. You met her, didn't you? So
I'd
should
be
be
interested to
okay.
see if
Okay.
anybody's would like to send us their.
Yeah,
Their version.
creations.
Their
we could do
cocktail
that.
version.
Let's do that then. Let's collate a few more and let's do this again in a few months and see what other recipes we can get together in that time. We're going to be back in May. We don't really know where. We're going to do something that's kind of early summer-esque, and all will be revealed in the next few weeks. But thank you, Laura.
Do we know where, and we're pretending that we don't?
No, we really don't know
We
where.
don't know where.
No.
I thought we were going to a park.
Well, we were going to a
For a
park,
picnic.
other than we're going to talk about this off air, Sean.
All right.
Other than slight logistic problems and the fact that parks are quite noisy.
Right.
So we'll
Probably
yeah.
wet.
I mean, we might be in a park, we might not. I guess you'll find out in a month's time. I want to finish just by saying a big thank you and well done to Laura for her amazing creations
Welcome.
tonight. So,
Thanks for coming.
well done,
Cheers, Laura.
and we'll see you in May.